Hi everyone, it's Callie again. Welcome to another STAMPtember exclusive. Today we welcome sponsor Concord and 9th. And I'm so excited to share these 3 cards with you. I got carried away with this beautiful festive flower set. This stamp set is a 6x8 stamp set and it is a layering stamp set. So we're going to be doing lots of stamping today, and because I love these flowers so much, I stamped so many, and so I've got 3 cards to share. To start, I'm going to share the 2 ways that I stamped my flowers. This first one is going to be in pink. This first layer uses the ballet slipper pink from Concord and 9th. And then instead of stamping a second layer, I'm using a finger dauber here to apply some of this pink lemonade color towards the center of the flowers only. That way the petals fanning out will be that lighter ballet slipper ink. And so you see a nice soft gradient between the 2 colors. Before stamping the second layer, I'm going to stamp that second flower while I have that stamp on my MISTI, and I'm stamping this second red flower using poppy ink. And then using that second layer, I'm going to use cranberry ink for the red layer. And then when I move on to the pink flower, I'm going to be using some honeysuckle ink. The other layers, I'm going to use acrylic blocks that'll make stamping and positioning a little bit easier with the smaller images. I'm going to stamp the floral centers here with buttercup ink, and then the second layer of the flower center with stardust ink. Now that I'm done stamping, I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut these images. There are coordinating dies, but I don't have them. So if the dies are important to you, be sure to grab this set before it sells out. Again, this is a STAMPtember exclusive, and once it's sold out, it will not be restocked. So before I started filming, I was playing with colors to make sure that I liked the color combinations, and I stamped several, and I fussy cut those off camera, and now I'm going to create some arrangements here. This first card is a 5x7 card. I really wanted to create a background, and because these flowers are bigger, I'm going to use a 5x7 layout. So on a 5x7 panel, I'm laying out the flowers where I want them to go, and then I'll lift them up and just stamp a light impression of the flowers so that I know and remember where they're going to be, and it's going to give me a rough idea of where I want to stamp my foliage in the next step. When I'm done stamping those flowers, I can go ahead and remove the die cut or fussy cut ones. And then on an A2 sized panel, I'm just going to stamp 1. I wanted this flower to be the center of attention for my second card. So now that I have my flowers stamped on my backgrounds, I can go ahead and start filling these bouquets with the foliage from that stamp set. There are 2 layers to all the foliage stems in this stamp set, so I'm using the lighter color first and stamping all the stems that I want in this color. Then I'll move on to the pine sprigs and stamp those as well on each of the panels before moving on to the second layer of these stamps using a different color green. So right now I'm stamping with a darker color for that second layer on all of these stems. Then for these leaves, I'm going to use a brighter color of green, and then I'll stamp those leaves in various areas on both panels again to fill out those backgrounds. Then I'll finish up here with the darker layer of these leaves, and I realized just now that I forgot to do that on the A2 size panel, but that's all right. It will give it a different look, I suppose, and that's totally fine. All right, and then to finish these backgrounds, I'm just going to stamp these berries, and then I can go ahead and add some 3D foam adhesive to the back of my flowers and adhere them over the pink stamped areas that I did in the initial step. So that just gives us a look at where those flowers will be, and it just makes the background easier to stamp, so you know where all the stems and where your flowers are going to be. I'm just going to finish the process here by adding double-sided adhesive to the flowers and then attaching the flowers to that background that I created for this 5x7 card. And when I'm done, I can go ahead and trim off all of the excess overhang. You can use a pair of scissors if you'd like. I like to use my trimmer just to make sure that everything stays lined up really well. And next, I'll be stamping my sentiments. I decided to use the same sentiments for both cards, so I just placed a piece of black cardstock in my MISTI, and then I'm going to prepare it with some anti-static powder tool and stamp my 2 sentiments with some Versamark ink before adding white embossing powder and then setting it with a heat tool. Once my sentiments are prepared, I do have to fussy cut these, which again, I don't mind doing. So I'm going to fussy cut with a small black border all around the letters, and then I'll add a strip of black foam adhesive on the back and use my T-ruler to make sure that my sentiments are straight across my panels for my cards. Now to finish these cards, I decided to add some dewdrops from Concord and 9th as well, just to fill out some of that white space on both panels and give this card a bit more texture and a little bit of shine. So I'm using little drops of liquid adhesive and adding these dewdrops in various places to finish it off. Now there are 3 extra flowers there at the top that you saw, and I had already stopped filming before I decided to make another card to use up those images. So off camera I did the same thing as I did for the 5x7 card, except I used a 4 1/4 by 5.5 A2 sized panel and just did a smaller arrangement for the background so that you can see you can create a background with a larger panel, or you can also do a standard A2 sized card panel as well. And that completes my 3 cards for today. I hope you enjoyed these samples for the STAMPtember exclusive from Concord and 9th. If you enjoyed this, be sure to check out the links below where everything will be linked for your convenience. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.